The Pueblo of Jemez is more than a community. It's a living testament to perseverance and belonging. For centuries, long before the founding of the United States, this indigenous nation has thrived on the same ancestral land. Their way of life is deeply rooted in self-reliance. Nearly every home sustains itself with family-run farms that yield harvests year after year. The community builds and maintains its own paths, structures, and systems on its own terms. But during the New Deal era, that sovereignty was ignored. State forces bulldozed highways through the heart of the Pueblo, cutting through sacred land and disrupted ancient pathways that had guided generations. What was once a unified organic landscape became divided by asphalt and imposed authority. This story isn't unique to Jemez. It's echoed across indigenous communities all throughout the country. So the question now is not just how we acknowledge this history, but how we begin to repair it.
Here is New Mexico 4 Highway, and it goes right through the heart of the Jemez village.
As we looked at many tribal communities, we see a lack of pedestrian infrastructure.
I have worked here at the Pueblo for almost 7 years, and my job is to do transportation infrastructure and safety projects. I'm originally born and raised in Seattle, Washington. Where I'm from, there's a lot of bicycle and pedestrian activity compared to here. And this is very much a car culture, wide open country, rural roads and highways, not a whole lot of pedestrian facilities. So I'm kind of bringing that upbringing and experience of having a lot more access to sidewalks, trails.
I'm the technical assistance lead for America Walks, and we're a national education advocacy organization focused on creating safe, walkable communities. And we're thrilled to be here in Pueblo of Jemez to do a quick build project to calm down the traffic.
April 2025 marked a moment of action in the Pueblo of Jemez as community members and leaders came together with America Walks to host a tribal pedestrian safety workshop and launch a quick build demonstration project focusing on creating safer streets. Ian Thomas opened the workshop by addressing the often overlooked impacts of high-speed roadways in tribal communities. Not just the danger to pedestrians, but the health burdens of air and noise pollution. And the slow erasure of spaces where people once moved, gathered, and lived more freely.
And all of this creates stress and poor quality of life.
Our community here at the Pueblo of Jemez has definitely listed pedestrian and bicycle safety as a top priority for the community in addressing known safety issues.
So pedestrian fatalities are rising every year. It's up to about 7,000 or 8,000 people a year in the United States are killed on the roads while walking. And tragically, people who identify as American Indian, Alaska Native are disproportionately impacted by these road collisions. And the reason is pretty clear, that the type of roads that are typically found in tribal communities, but also in African American communities and low-income communities in general, are not designed for the safety of pedestrians. They're designed more for the speed of traffic, and that contributes mightily to these statistics.
A lot of people like to walk in the community, but there's various factors that are challenging and kind of decrease people's ability to go out and walk. But traffic, animals, just general places to walk. Speed, they go to school in Rio Rancho. They also do a lot of walking around, biking, and playing outside, where we do face similar challenges. Sometimes there's roads right in the front yard, no crosswalks, no sidewalks. Creates challenges for walking from place to place.
After the workshop, community members and partners stepped outside to bring the Quick Build project to life, rolling up their sleeves, transforming ideas into action.
So what we're doing here is a demonstration project around how you can add infrastructure that changes the visual experience of the road for the drivers so that they instinctively slow down. We have a quick build crosswalk going in here, and it's very visible. And we have a walking trail going all the way around this neighborhood, which narrows down the lanes for driving and provides a safe place for walking and biking.
The community identified this as an area where we have speeding problems occasionally, and also there are no dedicated sidewalks or any kind of pedestrian or bicycle infrastructure. So we decided to do a dedicated 5-foot wide sidewalk along the outer edge of Sheep Springs Circle, and we are installing crosswalks, 2 crosswalks where we know that a lot of people cross this road.
The quick build refers to the fact that it'll be a temporary project, but they can set the stage for a permanent project that will really improve the safety of this area.
We have the capacity, we have the equipment to do it, so we are pretty well equipped to take care and maintain and install different infrastructure here in the Pueblo. The safety part is the implementing stuff like this, whether it's a quick build project like this. It gives us the data that we need to go after the funding that we need to pursue bigger projects to really implement pedestrian safety or transits for people that walk, bike, or stroll to school, to any of the community departments, our health center, our education departments, our libraries, places that people like to, instead of driving, that like to walk, So right now at this point, I think the Pueblo of Jemez is kind of almost in the forefront for these types of implementations. Quick build especially, this is my second quick build that I've done here in the Pueblo, and the first one was a huge success. The owners at the school really liked what we did. They were a little skeptical at first because they didn't know what was going on, but once we implemented and they saw the safety aspect of it and the positivity from all this, that they wanted to implement a lot of this permanently.
In addition to being inexpensive, temporary projects that can kind of bypass the long, official, expensive planning and design process for a full, for a permanent project. In addition to that, these quick builds are great community engagement activities.
This effort in the Pueblo of Jemez is one piece of a 15-month nationwide initiative funded by the National Safety Council's Road to Zero grant, working to improve pedestrian safety in small communities.
Then also our project team, America Walks, Cherokee Nation, University of Montana, Pueblo of Jemez, Confederated, Salish, Kootenai tribes. We all came together to execute this grant, which involves planning, design, and implementation of 3 quick build projects on tribal lands.
Maya Pedersen with the University of Montana brings a public health research perspective to the project.
One of the research projects that I'm involved with is a partnership with the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribes Tribal Health Department that promotes health among older adults living on the Flathead Reservation. That project was identifying factors that influence physical activity among older adults. And one of those factors was pedestrian safety and risk of falls out in their communities. For that reason, and many others, I've been a pedestrian advocate for a long time, went through the Walking College, through America Walks.
I just use this AARP domain of livability to illustrate how thinking about health for older adults at a national scale does really include these outdoor spaces, physical infrastructure, transportation, as well as health services and social participation. All of those things are related to pedestrian safety.
And earlier in the year, Hillary Mead with Cherokee Nation Public Health had hosted her own quick build project. She learned a new technique from the Pueblo of Jemez of using pavement tape rather than paint to create the crosswalks.
So we laid a traffic tape for the first time, or I laid it for the first time, and it was really interesting to see how that came together, how pretty easy it was to lay down what it could look like. We could do a pedestrian lane, we could do a crosswalk with it. It's temporary, so if we don't like where it's at, then we could always pick it up and move it somewhere else. So I really like that aspect.
With the quick build project in place, the day ended in celebration. Participants were joined by Orlando Teller, who served as Deputy Secretary for Tribal Affairs under President Biden, sharing powerful words on the future of Indigenous infrastructure and sovereignty.
The concept of planting for us here in Southwest is sacred. You plant for your legacy. You plant to eat. You plant to feed. You plant to commune. You plant to bring family together. That's important. So when I heard that meant something to me, that you all got your hands dirty.
I'm a mother of a 4-year-old daughter, and I would be terrified to have her walk in a street that didn't have a sidewalk or didn't have at least some delineation between where her body is going to be and where there are moving vehicles.